Hello, Cannonball Nation. My name's Kevin. I want to introduce you to my little friend back here. Let me turn this thing around. Here she is. This is Patience. She's a 1916 Indian motorcycle, Power Plus, 1000 cc, 7 horsepower. I found her in a shed up in the Canadian Rockies. At that time, about all she was a frame, a couple of worn out wheels, and a motor that had been taken apart and put in boxes. None of the controls, shifter, clutch controls, no footboards, no pedals, no pipes, no transmission, no brakes, none of that. No clutch, no kickstart, none of the handlebar controls. So, there wasn't much there, but, you know, she had soul. She spoke to me. So I loaded her in my truck. I snuck her across the border back into the United States where she belongs. And I put her in my basement workshop where she was for the next 3 years while I worked on her. And I got her ready for the 2016 Cannonball Run. Spent a lot of time in swap meets, made a lot of friends, met a lot of people who know a lot about these things. And somehow we got her put together, and here she is. So, we got her all brought back to life, and I rode her across the country in 2016, Motorcycle Cannonball. Patience and I, we made a perfect score last year. We were one of, I believe, 14 bikes out of 92 starters that did all the miles. 3,306 miles from Atlantic City, New Jersey to Carlsbad, California. So I guess they say a path is made by walking. Well, we made a path by rolling across the country, Patience and I. My goal for the 2016 Cannonball was just to do all the miles. And by the grace of God and lots of hard work, we managed to do that. Now, for 2018, we're going to ride from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon. And my goal next year is not just to do all the miles, but to have a little more time to spend with my Cannonball friends. Last year, we spent a lot of time working on the bike, as did everybody. These are old machines. It's 100 years old, and they require a lot of maintenance. Every night after the ride, we'd be working on the bikes in the hotel parking lot. This is my little buddy Cat, by the way. And this over here is Buddy. They wanted to get into the act. Okay, guys. Those are my mousers. Anyway, so, yeah, every night in the parking lot after the ride, everybody'd be working on their bikes. Maybe, you know, consuming a few beverages, somebody playing the guitar, that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. You know, these old machines, they require a lot of maintenance, and you have failures every day. You patch it together, you make the day, and then you fix it that night. Just from memory, you know, I think we did 2 valve jobs. Had the clutch apart a couple of times. We had the transmission apart a couple of times. We had to decarbon the cylinders every few days. You know, in addition to a lot of normal maintenance that you got to do every day. One of my most memorable days was one day we'd done a valve job, done some work on the magneto, the transmission, and decided to take the cam case apart, get the compression release working right, and adjust the timing, check the timing gears. By the time all that and the normal maintenance was done, we had the transmission back in, the timing case back together, and the valves back in, and decarboning completed. It was about 2 in the morning when we were ready to start the bike. Well, I was pretty tired by 2 in the morning, I'll be honest with you, and I made a mistake. I timed it 180 degrees out. The bike wouldn't start. I kicked it over a couple of times. I knew right away what I'd done. And so to fix it, I was going to have to take the whole cam case back apart, take the gears out, retime the magneto. I don't know. I told Paul's kind of my crew chief. I said, let's just call it. Let's get some sleep. We'll load it in the van, and we'll ride in the van tomorrow, give up our perfect score, and then we'll fix it tomorrow night, ride the next day. Well, Paul, he said, I know you're tired, but, we just had this thing apart. We know exactly what to do. It won't take us but a half hour. We can have it apart, retime it, put it back together, good to go. Load it in the van, be ready for tomorrow. All right, so we did. We took it apart and timed it. It took a little more than a half hour, but not much. I think it was 4 o'clock by the time we had it done and ready to ride the next day. But it ran. I rode all day next day. It was a tough day. I was tired, but it was a good day. And so we maintained our perfect score. So I don't know. That's one of my favorite stories. Next year, I know I'm still going to have to work on the bike, but I want to have a little more time, to hang out with my friends and not always be working on the bike. Anyway, that's my story. I hope I've given you a little bit of taste of what the Cannonball's like. I hope you'll follow us next year in 2018. If you're interested in seeing more about my Cannonball project, you can go to either the AMCA, that's Antique Motorcycle Club of America forum, or to Adventure Riders, which is advrider.com, and just search on Power Plus or Bust. And you'll see more information about my project. Also, I'll post links to those on the video towards the end, and hope you check it out. Anyway, have a great day. Nice talking to you. Thanks.